And hello, Internet! Thank you for bearing with us with a long intro. We had a little bit of technical difficulties to start, but I am excited to bring us back to the Land Beyond the Mist for session 3 of season 3. We have three new faces and a returning one, so we are excited to jump in. I'm going to go around the table, let us introduce our characters. I'm going to start with our new faces, give them their introduction. We'll finish off with our returner. First up in my order is actually Leova. Welcome back. I am glad to have you beyond the mist. Why don't you give yourself a little introduction and tell us who you're playing today?
Thank you. I am. Yeah, I'm dying. Apparently, I am glad to be here. I've missed the Land Beyond the Mist, and you all. I love playing with you guys, so I'm glad to be here. Today,
Excellent.
I am playing Udric. He is a half orc. He is a warlock. Um, and just the little sort of two sentences to very several long sentences about Udric. Udric's first memory was waking up cold, hungry, and angry in the forest, with nothing in sight save a small, dirty urn with a faded inscription. Hungry, the half-orc baby grabbed at the urn and tried to pry it open, looking for some food inside. And though it opened, there was nothing in there, his strength wasted, but rather a thick blue mist oozed out and materialized into a large, well-dressed, blue-skinned, green-eyed man who looked down at the sad and confused Udric and laughed heartily. Ha 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 ha! Any other child would have begun crying, but Udric curled up his little tiny green fist, grabbed the urn, and threw it at the man's head. And though it passed harmlessly through, the creature was impressed with the little child's fierce determination and decided to spare its life. Thus, the powerful Jinni Razek al-Mudrik became a mother, a father, a nanny, a teacher, and a creditor all at once. Udric fully embraced Razek's teachings, knowing nothing else, and meeting nobody in his deep corner of the forest. He learned about the quickness of the wind and the strength of the environment, of the will of the Jinni, and the inner strength to resist the constant mental onslaughts. That was part of his teachings. And through it all, the Jinni was training him, preparing him, cultivating in him a warrior pure of strength and body and mind. A machine dedicated to something, something hidden, something important, something dark.
All right. Well,
That's it.
uh, Uldric, you may have started an outsider, but you have found your way into the company of many a person. A long boat ride from the mainland and a whole new world to explore once you've gotten here. What have you been doing off of the boat in this fledgling city that's being constructed around you in an otherwise fairly natural world? What's been Uldric's occupation or whatever else he may be getting up to?
So, Udric, being a hermit, doesn't really know much of anything of society, of
Mm-hmm.
rules, of people. Mechanically, he's intelligence four, so be doing my best here. Um, but he's just kind of trying to figure it all out. Everything is very new to him. It's very much a Tarzan walking into New York City kind of vibe for him.
All
Just
right. Well,
wow.
mechanically, you have a few options here, Uldric. You've spent some time in the city off of the boat. Has Uldric been purchasing things, trying to find things he might need? Has he been attempting to spend what little he has on the, libations of society as he's found them the first time? Has he been working hard to gain more money? I guess he could be trying to improve the city, but mechanically, I don't think you can do that yet. It's not with your
No.
starting gold. What have you been up to?
I don't think I actually have any starting gold. I have a 10 gold, I think, right, from the skirmisher package. Was that correct?
You wouldn't get equipment and gold from your backgrounds. You would either roll starting gold or you would take the initial starting equipment from.
Yeah, yeah. The skirmisher package equipment, I don't think it has any gold. But either way, Udric has very little, and he wouldn't know about purchasing and buying things. These would be just like points he
Oh, I
has.
see. You took the skirmisher starting equipment. My brain
Yeah,
understands. No, that does not have any gold to start with.
yeah, correct. Yes, which is perfect because he doesn't have any money.
Hmm.
So he would have been essentially like he's gonna call it scavenging around town, but to anybody else, it would just look like he was like stealing odds and ends, like
Mm.
taking a misplaced dagger, maybe like a broken hatchet from here, a shoe from there, you know,
All
like
right.
a crow almost,
Well,
just
thievery is a type of work. We can see how good you are at it, getting these odds and ends from around town, disappearing them into your own supply, or perhaps fencing them off to someone else. Go ahead and roll for me D10 gold for each character level you have. Essentially, one character level here as you go to work, thieving away inside the new city.
important to him. It's not thieving; it's scavenging. 'Cause these are things left behind, it's trash on the ground.
Sure.
Yeah, some
All
of it.
right. Yeah, you acquire some decent coin, perhaps for someone who's not known any. This is a veritable fortune. But you collect it, put it in your bags, and are summoned to the front gates as you have agreed to adventure away from this perhaps overcrowded for your taste city of strangers and oddities. But
Yeah, given
before,
any chance to go to the forest, he would say yes without even
mm,
hearing. And yeah, do you want to
definitely.
go to the forest and burn? Yes, yes.
Absolutely. And as you approach the gate, you have met someone else who is fresh off the boat. Rumble, you are next on my list of, or just camera number here. Why don't you give yourself a brief introduction and tell us who you're playing?
Hi everyone, I'm Rumbleroar. I am no stranger to the Mists or playing D&D online. I've played with all of these people at least once, including Greg.
Hmm.
So, I'm back this time with Grumpus the Wise, a dwarf whose moniker is unfortunately very sad. He was taken in, his parents died, by a priest, lived amongst the nobles in his dwarven clan, and he was kind of a little shit. He didn't have a name, and he wasn't particularly smart. So all of the dwarves called him Grumpus the Wise, and it stuck. He grew up enjoying the finer things, eventually got old enough to figure out that he didn't have to sit there and take the shit of his clan anymore, and wanted to go out and do good things. So, coming off the boat, with one shoe less somehow, he doesn't know how he misplaced that, he goes straight to work. He wants to help this town, he wants to better this society, and since mechanically I can't build a thing, I'm gonna go do community service or something.
Excellent. You are community driven here in Fresh Off the Boat, trying to help people out. And of course, in any fledgling city, those who are trying their best to do the menial labor, the work, the just extra that is needed is often rewarded. Go ahead and roll me a d10 gold for each character level, as people around town are just so happy to have you around.
Boys, that's how you roll.
That is indeed how you roll. You collect a nice, tidy bit of pocket change for all of your good deeds, but nonetheless, you can only spend so long in the city before the call of adventure takes you to the front gates, where a strange half orc waits feverishly to get out of the city. But before you manage to leave, we will come and see who else is joining you on the journey. Vezel, you are next in my camera order. Welcome back to the Mist. Glad to have you. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us who you're playing?
Hello, guys. I am Vessel43, player of the great character Moji from last season. And this season, I'm playing as Clarence, a half-elf wizzy boy who is a nerd. He is a scribe. He writes all the stuff. And his background is he grew up with the elves, and he's different, you know? He's half human, so he's grown up a lot faster, doing things a lot differently than elves normally would. And they don't necessarily hate him, but they are kind of off put by his ambition for certain things. And, it's weird for him too, because you're 5 with another 5-year-old 1 year, and then the next year he's like exponentially grown compared to them. So he's always felt kind of odd around them. He doesn't hate them; he likes them enough, and he recognizes them as his people partially. But he also feels the call to his other side, his other being. So, and the ambition that he feels of wanting to be known, wanting to be understood, wanting to be famous is kind of not in line with the elves. They're more secretive and a lot more laid back than what he's felt. He's always felt this push and drive for these things. So they've not necessarily kicked him out, but they've said you're free to go on your own. Get out of here. Be free, my friend. And
I'm not telling you can't stay here, but
yeah, but so he goes and he kind of deals with his human side and realizes that he's kind of smart. He's kind of good with the numbers and the writings and the magics that happen in the world. And he's doing this stuff. And then he realizes the best way for him to get validation, and maybe even his tribe might see him as something more than some weird guy, is to get his name known across the lands. And what better place than an unknown place that he can be the first one to really get his name, his mark on the land. This was Clarence, the first Wizzy boy to really do it all in this area and solve the problems, fix the things, the greatest mates they've ever had. At least in his mind, that's what he thinks. And he really wants to try and, get out there and do all the stuff. So that's Clarence's background. He's a cool guy.
Well,
cool guy.
Clarence, you've come to this place full of ambition, ready to prove yourself, but you haven't yet had a chance to leave the city. Before you do, you've spent some time here doing what with all of your ambitions?
He has really good translation skills and scribing skills. So he's been writing and translating letters for people. He's also figuring out secrets, not necessarily to be spiteful or anything like that, but he's curious. Why is this way? What's going on around here? So he's getting messages from people and translating and giving them the other messages and working as liaison from time to time. But every so often, you hear things, you pick things up, you know a few things. You learn along the way how things are working in the area. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Of course, a scribe of any talent is very valuable amongst the adventurers out here. You are given messages and ledgers and all the writing of your heart's content. Perhaps you didn't learn quite as much as you were hoping for amongst the many numbers of shipments and dates and, recorded messages between engineers along the walls. But you do get paid for your work. Go ahead and roll me 1d10 per character level of gold that you have acquired during your time in town.
Alrighty. Nope.
As always, laborers are underpaid. We might have to get a union up in here someday. But for now, you take your meager earnings and you return to the walls, where our party is almost complete. But we have a familiar face. Welcome back, Mr. King Lyoko. Just glad to have you. Why don't you remind us a little bit about Agni, and then tell me what you've been doing since your last adventure beyond the walls of Ansham.
Sure. So, hi everybody, King Lyoko here. I am playing Agni, a Fire Genasi druid. And I don't think I'd mentioned this last time, but he's here on a bit of an interesting mission. Of course, his passion in life is setting fires. He does that for work, but he also does it for fun. But what he is trying to achieve long term, and I don't think he's probably told many people in character, but I'll share it with all of you in the audience, is that his goal is to create more Fire Genasis. And this isn't as difficult, or this isn't as easy as it is for many of the other races or species, because Fire Genasis either have to be created by 2 Fire Genasis or through the power of a Fire Djinn. Which, they don't really tend to reside on the prime material plane, so it's a bit difficult. So hopefully he'll be able to find some way to do so.
Well, between your calls to only genies and scouting for hot fire ladies in your area, what else have you been doing inside the city during your downtime?
Well, like I mentioned last time, he had started up a new service called Tinder.
Yes.
Completely unrelated to that though, but he has ideas.
Completely unrelated. Yeah, unrelated Tinder.
But no, actually, this time I think I've come up with a little bit of a fun idea. And I'm going to be visiting the market. You see, he recently got a bit of money. Unfortunately, 3 gold short of actually making any city improvements. So sorry to the rest of you. Can't get those palisades. But what I can do is buy a bunch of weightless weapons that I can break for max damage dice.
All right.
And those are slings. So he is going and he's just picking up like 20 slings for 2 gold, as well as a makeshift shield and a bunch of sling bullets.
Absolutely. You spend your downtime carousing the marketplaces of Ansham. It's a small city, has little in the way of a centralized market, but very many adventurers selling what extra wares they have. Craftsmen beginning to set up business, selling you the basics, and you are able to spend your time flitting about from place to place, person to person, bargaining, negotiating, getting the best prices you can, and you find yourself in possession of many a sling ready to be broken. Craftsmen are heartbroken to hear you saying this to them, but they understand it is the way of adventurers, and it keeps them in business. But perhaps you get the second choice of the slings and various equipment that you choose along the way. But finally, after making your purchases, you join up with the 3 of your companions at the front gates. You have chosen to make your way out of Ansham, eastward, in search of a supposedly haunted village that exists out there where apparitions lie. It is thought that perhaps this farm village might be of use if you could figure out what is going on beyond the walls. As you prepare at the eastern gate of Ansham, which just for the purposes of our game here, we'll just pull you into the farthest hex that contains Ansham to the east. Who is going to take the lead as you part at the gates? Pouches full of rations, all 3 of them that you can carry, water skins larded down and ready to depart.
So who is leading the first move?
Yes, who's taking the first turn in control of the party out here? Yes.
Is it alright if I do that, guys?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
All right. So as a reminder, you have 6 exploration points to use each day, moving between hexes, exploring the hexes, taking rests, all these things. Spend those points, and we have different checks to see what happens along the way. What is your choice to use your first exploration points on, Mr. Agni?
So, So we know that we're looking for an abandoned village that's reported to be facing some ghosts or some other spirits, correct? And we know it's to the east. Do we know if it's directly to the east or pretty much? Okay.
Yeah, so the rumor essentially is that this village right here on the map, very well known, is in fact haunted, which is why no one has really gone there and set up shop. It seems a few people have tried, but they've never returned. But you do know where you're going, so to speak.
Wonderful. I was just making sure that was the right way to go.
Yeah.
So I think that what we'll try to do is get over to this river tile right here, and that should cost 2 points, correct? Because it's a river?
Correct. Because there is a river in this tile, it will cost you 2 exploration points. We will go ahead and spend those. As you depart, the gates close behind you. You quickly find yourself in rolling grassy plains, going the opposite direction of those dusty, tarnished hills to the north. You find yourselves with grasses that grow up to your thighs in places, paths that have been not walked in hundreds, if not thousands of years or more. Birds circle overhead, and the sounds of your feet are muted on the thick brush around you. As you travel across this area, a river comes into view that you must cross. It is not overly wide, and you find a fording point, getting wet and perhaps struggling more than you might expect. It is difficult to wade through the waters. But as you are making your way through this grassland, go ahead and roll me a D100, as we will see if there are any encounters along the way for you and the party.
Alrighty then, a D100 it is. Oh, that's a D10, sorry.
An 11! All right, you have a fairly peaceful adventure. Despite the warm sun beating down upon you, the grasses smell sweet, and the magic that beats around the heart of Antrim almost seems to lessen as you approach the waters. This close to the shore, the oppressive feel of this wild land is just a little bit nicer, a little bit cooler, and the day goes by swiftly and without incident. Having forded the river and deep now in the rolling kind of grassy fields, it is now the end of morning, moving towards midday. Who is going to take control of our party's next phase of movement here?
Clarence will.
Excellent!
Clarence would like to search the land for materials for the town, because he is curious about all this land.
Absolutely. Clarence, you begin to lead the party in a discovery of this hex, this area that you've never really been in before. Tell me, how is it that you do your discovery? How are you searching this land?
Well, he's looking for things that are out of the ordinary. You know, he's used to Antrim a little bit, not a whole lot, and he's used to what he's been around with the with elves and the human lands, but he's looking for things that are just not normal.
Mm-hmm.
And is anything sticking out to him? He's gonna do a few detective magics. He's gonna do a few little things around here, just checking out things.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The Wizzy Boy does some detective magics. I like it.
Yeah.
You lead the party along arcane ley lines that you can just feel thrumming through the land here. You search for the places they may lead and the secrets they might find, but this is a dangerous land. We're going to expend your exploration point, bring the party down to 3 for the day, but you may find something a bit complicated along the way as you search these ley lines. Go ahead and roll me a D100. Let us see what you may encounter. An 18. This is a relatively peaceful part of the land here, and you follow the ley lines without any interruption or delay. Go ahead and roll me an Arcana or Investigation check, your choice, as you follow these ley lines. Your DC in this area is 11 to make a discovery. All right, you have easily tracked the largest of ley lines, and it actually takes you relatively close to the river itself. And here, Mr. Clarence, you are in awe of a strange creature. This large horned creature with fur like a goat but belly and torso like a man sits behind a large table, and in this large table there is foods of all kinds, built up into large piles. There is roasted foods of fish, roasted rabbits, birds. Each of them seem cooked to perfection, piled one on top of the other. There is vegetables of various makes, wines, fruits of all kinds. And as you get close enough, you realize this to be an enormous satyr who calls out to the 4 of you in a booming voice. Welcome, strangers, to the Satyr Feast. Please, sit. Join me in the worship of Glutos. And he looks at you with like an eyebrow cocked, like the Rock, like taking each of the four of you in turn.
Udric runs to the table and just starts eating. This is amazing. He is being welcomed to this land with open arms by the first outsider they meet. This is amazing. Welcome back to the Forest. This is great.
Absolutely.
You'll see a book come out for Clarence, and he's just writing all this down, like, "Oh, this is crazy, cool." And then he's like, "Satyr, this is a big Satyr. What the fudge?" And he's got a little book with all these notes he's taken along the way, and he's writing all this stuff down.
You start writing down notes. You dive in with both hands, Uldric, and the Satyr laughs heartily and waves their hand. A team of harps behind him begin playing that you didn't even notice were there before, and places magically seem set for each member of the party. He laughs, raises a glass to Glutos, he says, and begs the rest of you to sit. And as you begin to dig into the feast, he just starts swallowing things down his throat. Whole, no chewing, no biting. He just keeps downing food after food, and it never seems to end. Do the rest of you sit with him?
I think Clarence will. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to do it. Eat some food.
What about you, Rumble?
Did the Satyr give us a name? I missed that.
No.
He said Glutos something, but
No, that's
I
the
think he
guy
said his
who's
name. Yeah, exactly. He didn't say his name.
No, Fred. I am Grumpus. What's your name?
They call me Chew.
Sounds lovely. I've never heard that name before. What, do you live here?
Of
What's all
course.
this? I love the music.
It's wonderful. Please, sit, join the feast. It's only natural.
So at this point, have you all already sat down and started eating?
Yeah.
Viova said he dug in.
Clarence has.
Vioko, what about you? Are you there?
Guys, last season, Greg had a feast with fey creatures and satyrs, and you know what happened to that party? They totally got trapped.
You wouldn't do it again.
He wouldn't do it again.
I'm gonna join in. Yeah, of course.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's what happened.
The four of you sit, and as the last of you sit, he clasps you on the shoulder, Grumpus, and he looks you in the eyes and says, "It is good to meet a friend like you. May we satiate the unending hunger, if only
Just for
a
clarity.
while."
Grumpus is tiny. How big is this satyr? As he grabs my shoulder like a small child.
He's as you look at him, the terror maybe starting to look in your eyes. You realize that this satyr stands. He's sitting now, but should he rise to full height, he's probably at least 7 feet tall, and his belly is like the size of a gnome. This creature has just an absolute enormous gut that it is proud of, right? It like pats it from time to time, but right now it is gripping your shoulder and like giving you this praise.
Would you say, as my divine sense pings for the first time, that this stranger danger has popped off at all? Or should I trust
What
this
does
person?
divine sense? First of all, you're a paladin. What is your like creed? Like what devotion do you follow as a paladin? What does this divine sense mean to you?
I am, what did I choose? Of the warrior, I believe. Fire. So I'm looking to fight my way through because I'm not the smartest, but I can help people who need help.
Absolutely.
I also am looking into charity as my ideals because that's what got rolled for me.
All right, so Divine Sense would normally tell you like the location of Celestials, Fiends, Undead. You definitely know this is a Fey creature, right? You didn't even need to ping that off for you. The Warrior sees this as a challenge, right? As your Divine Sense goes off, you're not like scared. You don't think this guy's gonna fight you or kill you, but your senses, your devotion to the warrior is like, this is a challenge. We
so
overcome challenges.
I'm in eating contest mode then.
Absolutely.
Let's see if we can out-eat the satyr, boys.
All
Don't
right.
take any custard damage.
The
Ironically,
satyr.
I was waiting until you
Yes.
finished to know that Udric is, in fact, savagely attacking this feast.
Very good. You are savagely attacking this feast, as you are wont to do as a half-orc. The satyr laughs heartily. Oh, good friends are made this day. That overflowing goblet of wine that he had in his hand, that he was holding onto while talking to Grumpus, he just tosses into his mouth, wine, goblet, and all, and just swallows it down without a second thought. The food doesn't ever seem to end. It goes on and on. This creature shoveling food into his mouth. You're eating as much as you can to keep up with him. You soon realize, as the party, once you have joined the feast, you cannot leave the table until the feast is done. You are stuck here in this position, in this ritual, this worship of Glutos, god of gluttony, and you must all make a combined DC 45 Constitution saving throw. What that means is each of you are going to contribute to this check. All 4 of you are going to roll me Constitution saving throws. That is your contribution to the feast. Your DC for this is going to be 45 in total.
1/4 of the way.
11. That's close.
Might Udric...
Oh, 21.
I was going to ask about advantage because of him savagely attacking.
You are savagely attacking this feast. Unfortunately for you, the downside of that is the feast is also savagely attacking you. You both have advantage and disadvantage.
8 or better, Leova.
No! Oh, that is an 11. A 21 is 32, 37, 43. You are just short. You eat, and you eat, and you eat, and you drink as much as you can until each of you pass out, one by one, until the last, Clarence, the elf, the daintiest amongst you, well, half-elf, gives in to his human side and puts down the most food of all of you. But even he finally succumbs to the ritual of Glutos. When you wake up, each of you realize a whole day has passed. Please reduce your rations by 1. As the creature seems to have enjoyed them along with his feast. The table is gone. The harps disappeared. The satyr himself is gone. If you had any wounds or exhaustion, they would be entirely healed from this. But you are awakened unharmed. I need... a perception check, though, from Vessel, the last of the 4 of you or Clarence, I'm sorry, the last of the 4 of you to make their way through this feast.
Yeah, 13.
A 13! Clarence, you realize, as you awake from this, that the feast had another participant. You were so engrossed in it, you almost didn't realize it. There was a shadow, a darkness, and you feel that darkness touching you. It is attached, like your own shadow, a second presence right beside you. This presence is going to give you disadvantage until it is removed on all checks not to be gluttonous. You have a desire to fill your mouth to indulge yourself in every way possible.
Well, he's a eating boy. On all gluttonous checks. All right.
All right.
Oh, Udric will wake up fat and happy, look around, and say, "Ah." Just that. Just ah.
It was a good start to the adventure, boys.
Yeah. Well, more things to do, more things to come. But that was fun.
Who was?
And as he starts writing this stuff fiercely down in his book, like, I feel like I got healed. I'm doing this stupid crap. There's a giant satyr. Oh, this is sick.
All right. Well, you awake the next day. A whole 24 hours has passed. You are now essentially in the third phase of the second day of your adventure. Having gathered your wits about you and the gentle rush of the waters around you, like kind of awakens you up from your stupors. It is back in the hands of the party what they may do with the rest of their remaining second day. There are 3 exploration points remaining this day that you may use. What will you do with them?
Was the most recent action to scavenge or to explore?
It was to explore. Yes.
Would you guys be alright if I scavenge? I have a feature that allows me to automatically succeed for scavenging for materials.
I mean, we might as well while we go, right? No? If not, on
Yeah.
the way back, maybe? So to...
Well, I'm hoping that by getting the materials now, I'll be able to use them for spells. You know,
Oh, yeah, I was thinking, like, big-ass logs and shit.
Yeah, I was
No,
thinking,
no. I just want to collect some clover.
Yeah, go pick your dandelions, bud.
All right, so I think, and let me point to this feature in the rules. So I have the Outlander background, and
Yes.
it has the Wanderer feature, which
Mhm.
allows you to succeed on a scavenge roll without the need to roll the dice. So I'm gonna just it's 1 exploration point, right?
Correct, yes. So you are going to spend your time as party leader. We'll take the exploration point down. That'll leave you with 2 for this second day. And you spend your hours as party leader teaching the party, I suppose, how to pick clover, it sounds like. What is it exactly that you are scavenging for?
Well, it's literally like the spell component that I need right now is clover for my Shillelagh spell.
Well,
So I guess it's just like, some clovers are better than others,
Yeah, you gotta find the right number of leaves. 4 is too many, 2 is too few. Gotta have the 3 or the 5. When you begin searching for these clovers, you're in a grassland. You know that this is a perfect place to find clovers. They are definitely here. You are an outlander. You are familiar with the backwoods and where to find things. You absolutely succeed on clovers. You may refill your component pouch up to the beginning level of casting that you started with the adventure of clover, and any related spell components that are herbs, grasses, things like that you might find.
how about
Right.
sand or soot and salt?
You are absolutely next to a riverbank. Sand? Definitely. Soot and salt? Not so much.
Understand?
Yeah.
I mean, I can make suit for you if you want.
Suddenly
yes.
the
Oh
my
grasses
God.
start burning around you. There's just ash. Roll for
yes.
wildfire.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I assume that mistletoe, even though it's kind of like a woody vine, can also be
Mistletoe is found is almost like a fungus. It's not, obviously, but it grows on the tops of treetops and forests.
Okay.
It would not be found in the grasslands here.
That's fair enough. Alrighty.
All
Very
right.
Wait,
So
sorry.
with that, we need a new party leader for the next day here.
Ding.
Ding! Grumpus, you step forward.
Before I in character this, boys, I don't have encyclopedic knowledge of this map. Has any party gone southeast to where we currently are? I know our goal is 1 northeast or direct north of here. Has anyone explored the southeast? I say we hit that and then head up to the town. Question
You
mark.
know, I heard some people talk in the tavern that they might be going out to do just that in a couple weeks or so. You know, let's continue on with their mission so we're not stepping on any toes.
I don't want to miss out on another satyr. But what if there's one that way?
I mean, if you guys want to, then sure, I don't mind. I'm just letting you guys know.
Satyr quest.
There is a plan to head that away. Then, if
Yeah.
so, no need to head that away. Let's head to the northeast, not galactic north.
All right, you are
Do
in
I get to do that? Oh, I get to do that. Haha.
You sure do. You move your party past this river you've spent so much glorious time in, up towards the northeast, where you are certain that the reports of the village all have been. It is a simple walk through the grasses. There are no trails that are in good repair, but nonetheless, it is a pleasant experience to swish through these like knee-high grasses. However, there are dangerous things out here in this land that may imperil you anyway. As you traverse this land, Grumpus, roll me a D100.
Whoop.
A 21. Grumpus, you find, much as your friends did, that the way is clear, the day is bright, the wind is cool, and there is not an enemy in sight. And you find your way northeast quite easily in the direction you are certain this village to be in. There is no need, in fact, to try to do a discovery roll in this hex. This hex contains a large village, and with just a little bit of wandering around, the four of you will easily begin to spot where the grasslands begin to fade into more of a, like, fallow field. And beyond the fallow field, you see the tops of houses, decaying and wooden. You find yourselves nearing the end of the day, looking at the outskirts of a rather large farming village. It does not rival the size of Ansham, but this is no mere little outpost. It seems that this would have held any number of hundreds of farmers at one time. Much of the houses and stables and fences are decayed and ruined. Some of the wood you see in the like far fields is petrified. As you approach it, it is stone-like, hard to the touch, as if it has lost its wooden qualities altogether. And as you approach, you know that you have found this farming village, the one that rumors say is haunted, and that no adventurers, no people from your encampment in Ansham have returned from. What do you do?
Clarence writes. He's like, "Oh, cool, petrified wood. This is crazy." He's actually, I don't know if I can, but he'd like to investigate a little bit. And figure out how this may have happened, because this does not seem natural.
Okay. How would Clarence go about investigating as you are kind of in the late evening, as the sun is kind of setting to the west, causing long shadows across your sight? What is the tact you go with to investigate this place?
He's trying to see if this is something that happened naturally or magically. He's also like testing touching them and moving things around, figuring out like, was this like some kind of magical blast? Is this like just something that happens in this area? Because he's noticed that there's a bit of a difference here than the world he's coming from. So he's really like getting deep into it and trying to figure out anything he can.
Yeah, so do you go to the buildings themselves, or are you mostly looking through like the old fences and ruins on the outskirts?
Buildings themselves. Clarence is not
absolutely.
Man.
All right, so you're looking to see how natural this is, what may have caused it. I will let you do a Arcana check, as you are, one with magic, and you think this might be unnatural, or a nature intelligence check. Either one of those, your choice as you investigate.
Would I be able to provide the help action with nature?
You absolutely could if you desired.
So if you
Good
want.
nature. Advantage.
All right.
24.
A 24. Excellent. You take a long look at these and you think through the nature. Perhaps you discuss the properties of wood and of natural materials with your Jin friend. And you know that these are long since rusted, rotted, and decayed buildings, but they are naturally so. The petrification of the wood is not magical. You are very certain of that. It seems to be a natural process that has turned it into a nearly stone-like quantity. The interminable age it must have taken to reach this state kind of dawns on you. The buildings, the things that you see here, have stood for so long. The wooden fences in places have become petrified. There are not but bars in the windows. The glass long since disappeared into sand once again. And as you step through the buildings, you will also notice that they are largely picked through. Not recently, you see little in the way of footsteps or even animal life in the village. But some long time ago, it seems that there is little left within much of these buildings, but the rotting kind of bones of the village.
Now, Greg, is it like common knowledge to this like wave of, I guess, I don't know, colonizers or explorers or whatever that have set up Ansham, like what sort of civilization used to be here, or like there's no like history of like, oh yeah, like 1,500 years ago there was a group here. And
no, the lands beyond the mist are vast, ancient, and unknowable. Very few return to the mainland, and when they do, they often return with tales of great magics and treasures. Oftentimes, they come back very rich. There are old houses and new who have been built in nobility upon the wealth obtained from these lands. But outposts and settlements often and usually fail quite quickly. There's little known except hearsay and rumor of what came before.
And so this village must have stood without like an unimaginably long period of time. Now that in and of itself seems kind of unusual, because you'd think that it would become so overgrown that there'd be nothing recognizable in that meantime, right? Like normally that's what would happen in like a grasslands or a forest.
Potentially.
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
Over a few hundred years or so, right? And this must have been like thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
Greg, am I able to lend any sort of dwarven expertise into figuring out how old this place is? Looking at the rocks.
Yes, but not in the way you might think. There is little or no stonework here. You know that no dwarven knowledge was used in this village, and you also have some knowledge of petrification. The wood themselves is not a thing that dwarves use, but they have treaties with elves, and they know that it's something that they can work into their stuff. I would like for you to make me a history intelligence check, as per your stone cunning. Your DC to know exact date is going to be 25, but depending on how well you do, you might know some more about it.
This is going to get 2 on top of it because of the stone cutting, if that's cool.
Okay.
Greg, I'm going to argue that I get that 2 here, please.
You get a 2, sure. With a 2, you will know just general information. Wood petrifying takes a long time. It is also something that is variable based on a lot of factors, but especially the nature around it. Like, where is this wood? Is it damp? Is it dry? Is it exposed to air, etc.? And you know that this can range from somewhere between hundreds of thousands of years to maybe even millions of years. But you know, in really isolated cases, deep underground in dwarven halls, it might take a handful of decades under just the perfect conditions. So
But this is literally like out in the open, right? Like,
it is.
so it makes absolutely zero sense that that the wood would have petrified, and with the village still standing in such good condition.
Lads, this place makes no sense. I don't like this rock.
I don't like it either.
Clarence agrees. He's like, this is interesting. Very interesting indeed. And he's just start writing stuff in his book again.
And in the background behind everyone, Udrik's kind of been looking around. He's finally come to the realization. Where are all the people?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, after this long, you'd think there wouldn't be any indication, but if the buildings survived in such good condition, maybe there's some sign of what happened to them too. Or what happened to the people, that is.
Yeah.
No dead bodies, no bones.
There aren't any skeletons or anything?
Are there any tracks, boys? Have we looked for tracks to see if anything's come or gone here recently?
I mean, let's exhaust all our options. This is a really interesting mystery.
You begin
Yeah.
looking around for bodies and skeletons and tracks. Much like Clarence, you quickly find there's no signs of footsteps or tracks or animal life even in and around the village. You notice that the bird song that you had been hearing throughout the grasslands up to this point is silent. You've been marching around in a fairly eerie silence. There are no bodies, petrified or otherwise, no skeletons lying around. And you go from building to building, finding largely the same things until you come to a central square. Your thorough investigation does eventually reveal a single large manor house. The manor itself has intact doors and windows, though they are locked and barred from without, allowing no sight into what is inside. If you approach the manor house too much, your blood runs cold and unease begins to seep in around you. It is a terror, almost radiating from the manor itself.
Now, Greg, is this at all similar to the situation that happened in the woods during the first session of the season that involved these ghosts seemingly out of time, but having corporeal form? Is there any sense of maybe there's been a time dilation here at all? Can I figure that at all?
I don't know. Perhaps you did have that experience earlier in the Mists. You don't see any ghosts around here, but maybe you can't rule that out.
Is the sun in the right place for what time of day it should have been when we were entering the village?
That is
That's a good
an
question.
excellent question. Very clever, but unfortunately, the answer is yes. The sun is in the correct place, and it is setting. You are
Okay.
You are not.
So time seems to be progressing.
Time is progressing. Yes, the sun is lower in the west than it was when you started your investigation. Though you are not pressed for time at the moment, it is late in the evening. You are approaching sunset eventually.
Huh. And there's no indication as we go of any battle or any a large graveyard that would have indicated a plague or anything that would have emptied out the town.
No, you don't see signs of a battle here. You don't see signs of a plague, of dead people. The people seem to be missing in their entirety. There's no sign of them at all. Whether it's due to the age of the farming village or the magics of the land, you're unsure, but you see no sign of any of those things.
Well, I think my best guess is that maybe there's the
We gotta go in.
boundaries are thin here. Yeah,
We gotta
feel
go
free to
in.
approach.
We
Go
gotta
for
go in. We're going
Be
in.
careful. We don't know what might lie inside.
Clarence will cautiously, semi-cautiously, not really, but go towards the house. And it's giving everybody the heebie-jeebies because he needs to know why. What caused this? what is the reasonings of these things. And this is the only out of place thing that's giving like any indication of something. So he's got to investigate.
Absolutely. Here, let's take you to a little map here. This is our manor house. You can see kind of the area you are walking towards. This path in front of you is the entrance to this large building in front of you. You see its windows are barred and the doors appear to be locked. As you approach, Clarence, each step of yours is like a little bit colder, a little bit more unease settles around you. Your goose flesh shows upon your exposed arms and like face even. Back of your neck has hairs stand on edge. Go ahead and approach as close as you would like to. This being the front door right here.
As we
Jeepers,
approach,
gang, I don't know about this.
Points.
Does not
I'm
approach the house.
gonna check for clues. Are there any footprints around here, or is it the same?
It remains
see-
unfootprinted in the area, indeed.
Well, we gotta solve this mystery, gang.
All right, you
yeah,
approach
there's-
the
there's
door
no
itself all the way, each step drawing colder. As you reach the door, I will need you to make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Zoinks! All right.
I'm gonna magic stone some of my sling bullets, by the way. That's
Wisdom
just-
saving throw. Yeah.
Wisdom saving throw. Normal.
A 15. You feel like a pressure around you as the aura of this building seems to intensify. But you withstand it. Your mind is your own. And you hear the incantations of a genie behind you as magic stones are turned boiling hot and emblazoned with his fiery magics.
Good. I'm like, well, knock knock.
You knock
Mr.
upon the
Machine is here.
door. It rattles in its hinges. It is frail, and you think even a slight build such as your own could even knock this door in. But it is bolted shut. It will not swing open on its own accord.
I'm going to push it or pull it, whatever the.
You
The door-
push, you pull. Are you going to break the door down?
Yeah.
All right, you puff, and with all your might, the door breaks off its hinges. And as you do, a creature comes bursting forth, frost forming around your feet, your breath clearly misting in front of your face, as a horrific-looking creature, cold and ghost-like, with a large sewing needle in hand, flies through you and Grumpus, because you are both in a line here, and that is her ending point. I need both of you to take for me one wound as the chill of this ghostly apparition sinks deep into your bloodstream. And then, I need you to roll me initiative.
Oh, great, guys. We're starting out with wounds.
I know this was an issue last session, but I don't think armor breakage is a thing for a ghost, right? It's not really,
If you would like to break your armor in this instance, the ghost's magic could, in fact, destroy your armor instead of wounding your body. Do you desire...
I don't have armor, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'm just gonna take the wound.
Clarence, Grumpus, Agni, I have you three. Who am I missing here? I'm missing Uldrick. Excellent. Let us resort this. At the top, Clarence. Your body is cold and frigid. An icy headache rips through your nerve system, but this cold apparition with a large sewing needle in hand stares at you with a malice. What will you do?
I am gonna shudder. Write a few notes in my book. Very cold. Don't touch the ghosties. And walk 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And take a shot. Oh, gosh, what do I? Yeah, I'm gonna take a shot with a bolt of fire.
Oh, a fire! Go ahead and roll to hit here. What does your magic look like, actually? I don't think we've talked about what it looks like when you cast.
So for him, he's reading in his book and he's just writing things down. And then as he writes, stuff starts to flow out of his book and then shoot towards the way he wants it to go. And let's go.
A 22. Oh, it flows exactly the way you want it to go. Striking true in the middle of this Snow Maiden's chest. Go ahead and roll me some damage. 3 points of damage. Excellent. We are going to call this one HP so that I can... Maybe I can't. There we go. And we are going to call this 19. Alright, there we go. We have damaged her as flame erupts. There is no sound. There is only eerie, grave silence as the creature turns towards you, sewing needle in hand. But before it does, Agni, you are standing right next to this cold apparition. What do you do?
Well, I would love to disengage from it and gain some distance, but I think probably the smarter idea at the moment is to cast protection from evil and good on myself.
Okay.
So because that will give her disadvantage if she decides to attack me. So
all right.
I'll put a little marker and I sprinkle some powdered iron on myself. And let's see, bonus action. Since she's right next to me, I think what I'll do is I think I can cast a cantrip in addition to a level spell, right?
Yes, a cantrip in addition to a leveled spell, as long as a bonus action and regular action.
So what I'll do is do the bonus action Shillelagh as well.
Okay.
Quarterstaff.
Your spiky quarterstaff grows out of your hand as you prepare your weapon, but the maiden turns to Clarence. And it begins to float by incorporeally, leaving the two of you behind. This will cause attacks of opportunities, should you so desire.
Absolutely. I will Shillelagh her.
All right.
21.
That
Or,
is
sorry, 12.
a 12. It's not quite a 21, but it does hit. Go ahead and roll me damage.
All right.
That does 11 points of bludgeoning. Oh my.
Is that
spear
magical or no?
My spear is non-magical. Does my
Yes, it
attack
is
appear
magical.
magical?
Shillelagh is magical, correct.
mine's
Grumpus,
not.
you strike with your spear, actively striking there. Both of your attacks seem to affect this apparition, and they take a ton of damage. In fact, let's roll some dice. As you strike them, you've now pissed them off potentially more than Clarence. But no, they are of one-track mind. They
I only did 3 damage.
They want that elven booty! Clarence,
No!
you see
I
this
am
creature raising up its giant sewing needle, and it begins to make a little sewing motion. And as it does so, you see a spectral needle begin to form around you, like a thread, and then it chucks its needle downward towards you at your torso and feet. It will attack you with a 19. Does that hit?
It's a hit.
That is a hit. You will take 2 points of piercing damage. You are rooted in place and cannot move until the needle is removed. As an action, any creature may attempt to make a DC 12 Strength Athletics check to remove the needle. At the end of each turn, the needle spawns threads that begin to wrap around you like cold, icy fingers. And as the creature wraps those threads around you at the end of their turn, it smiles a horrible smile for the first time. Udric! It is your turn. What will you do?
Save me! Save me!
Well, as the creature smiles, there is a looming light behind it of a massive eldritch blast aimed, hopefully, directly at it.
All right. You fire your Eldritch Blast. You miss. Please, tell us what your horrible Eldritch Blast looks like from your Warlock's genie powers.
I think Udric's Eldritch Blast is it's I'm trying to think. I don't think it's a very motion based attack. He doesn't do any fancy like postures or movements. He just sort of like glares at this spirit angrily and he grunts stop, and the grunt sort of like echoes as if like a drop of water into a lake, and just the ripples of force kind of thud out. The only sort of visible phenomenon would be that sort of heat above a hot highway kind of slight ripple in the air as like a slump.
You command this creature to stop like it's hammer time, but this creature is more of an in the name of love kind of stopper, and it is unaffected by the ripples of force that find their way through the air.
Udric will I think seeing this thing attack Clarence, he will move over here to get into a little better position to see kind of what's going on now that he's missed the ghost with his blast.
All right. Grumpus, it comes to you. You have speared this thing, but it is sowing your friend. What do you do?
So anyways, I continued spearing. Charging this ghost. No, you will not sow, my friend. Swinging, stabbing the spear.
The 19 hits for 9 points of damage. Okay. The ghost is felled. The 9 points of damage are enough to reduce its hit points to 0. As the ghost falls, you will notice, Grumpus, the needle does not leave Clarence, and the threads continue to wrap. You realize that a thread wrapped at the end of the ghost's turn, the thread wrapped at the end of Uldric's turn, and a third thread is beginning to form around Clarence as you remove your spear from the dissipating form of the Frost Maiden.
Boys, does anyone have scissors? Magical scissors?
I got a knife. I'm a cut it.
Run, get over here.
Clarence, it is your turn. A needle is stabbed through your torso into the ground. Threads are beginning to form around you as it sows. What do you do?
I'm gonna break out. I'm gonna get the freak out of here. This is crazy.
All right, you may attempt to remove the needle with a Strength Athletics check, DC 12.
Strength Athletics. Oh no. Which one is that? That's the yeah. Oh, here we go.
No, you heave,
No!
You pull with all your might. The needle stays firm. A fourth thread begins to wrap around you. You have used your action. You cannot move. Do you have a bonus action you would like to take?
No, I don't have bonus actions.
All right.
Yeah.
The fourth thread finishes wrapping itself around you. Agni, it is your turn.
So, I'm not very strong. I'm more of a limber dude, but I am proficient in athletics. So I will run up and give it a try.
All right.
Try to sort of bash it out with my shillelagh there.
All right. You grasp the... Ooh, perfect. You grasp the needle, and then you heave. It's not quite enough, and you think, leverage, baby. You use your shillelagh like a lever, and you rip this out of Vezel here, of Clarence. The threads ripping with them, little spots of blood kind of float into the air like an apparition as the needle and threads make their way out of your friend. But as you remove it from its spot, the needle disappears, the threads slowly fade away. The little spots of blood are not more than a flesh wound. You take no damage. For now, you are safe. The manor and village are silent once more, the cold around you dissipating a bit, and you are mostly unharmed.
Is anyone injured?
I'm a little injured, but
I'm gonna hand you a healing potion. It's just a normal potion of healing.
Oh, cool.
Use this if you need to.
Yeah.
Greg, wounds we have to heal on a long rest, right?
Yes, so if you will look at the travel and resting handout in the player handouts here, and roll 20, you can see the various types, including wounds here. They'll tell you all about it. But since we're talking about it, you will need a full rest in a safe and secure location, such as a fort or outpost, allies' abode, or site of sanctuary.
We'd have to go back to Ansham to recover your wounds, guys. That's up to you. I know that
I want to figure out what happened
a
here.
wound is very dangerous.
Don't worry about it. It's never killed anybody before. Anyway, I'm going to look at the area where it fell. Do I see anything there? I'm writing down what happened to me, and I'm trying to figure out if there's anything left behind after that thing went away, kind of ethereally, like whoosh.
Ooh, all right. Yes, give me either an investigation, intelligence check, or an investigation wisdom. This is about perceiving the natural world. Investigation wisdom or an arcana wisdom check, please, as you look for the remains of your ghostly foe.
So that would be for me. Plus, what's that? 5. Oh, yeah, 5.
Excellent.
19.
A 19. Indeed, there is a lingering here. While there is no material thing to loot, much like the threads that were woven into you, there is a near invisible thread, an arcane thread, leading from the place where this ghost was to somewhere inside the manor, deeper within, and it seems to be attached.
Guys, I have found a thing. And we
Can
must...
you just like pull along it and just follow?
You'll see Clarence put his finger on the thread and kind of slide his finger towards it as he's walking towards the house, and he's just gonna follow that thread all the way through and see what happens.
All right, you follow into the house. As you do, the cold around you, the kind of dread begins to fill you once again with each step. You go inside. The creak of the wooden boards underneath your feet is somehow both unsettling and surprising at the same time, and a fear and anxiety inducing sound both ringing throughout. As you step through, you will notice many things. The manor itself is in a state of disrepair. It is old and it is broken down, but it is in a better state than much of the houses around you. A lot of the wood has not rotted all the way through. It is old, it is worn, but it is still intact. The house has not been looted. There are paintings and carpets and rugs and candelabras and all the accoutrements of what may have once lived here. But the thread kind of ignores all of them, and it leads you further down into the heart of the manor through different rooms of the house until eventually you find it leading you to a simple cellar door.
Greg, as we go,
Yeah.
so first off, you mentioned two things of interest to me here. You mentioned that the windows to this house were barred with iron bars, and secondly, some fancy chandeliers. Now, I need powdered iron and powdered silver for my protection from good and evil spells. Would I be able to use my shillelagh to sort of pry some of like the iron bars as well as like parts of the chandeliers to get that iron and silver so I can later grind it up to
I
powder?
suppose it's a magic weapon. You're not just like taking a stick and rubbing it on iron bars.
I don't mean to grind it like right now while we're going, just to have it so I can grind it later.
You want to take the iron bars out of the windows?
One at least, you know.
Give
so I
me
can
a
have some.
strength athletics check to pull the iron bars out of the windows.
Are any of you strong, boys? I might ask for some help with this.
You could absolutely
Anybody?
get help from one of your companions, like
All right,
as
wonderful.
leverage.
All right, I will roll the advantage then. 18.
You manage. The bars are old, but they are fast. You almost get the feeling like there is magic in the bars. But now that you're inside the house, your bulging muscles and the leverage provided by your friends allow you to rip some of these iron bars out. You will obtain. Very poor roll. You will obtain 3 such iron bars.
Can we say that between that and I assume maybe the chandeliers or something else is made of silver and get 3 uses of the powdered iron silver?
Yes, but you will need time to turn them from silver and iron into powder.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, but you will have the means of which to make that. Absolutely.
Sounds good. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, back to the spooky cellar door. Sorry.
As we're going through this house, Udric's gonna just be looking around with genuine curiosity because it's one of the few places he's really ever been. The pictures on the walls, you said, what do they depict? Is there anything that-
Are they like humanoids? Like what sort of creatures used to live in this environment?
They are landscapes. Each of them are incredibly well painted with some kind of oil. It is almost like peeling and cracked from the age and time here. But even through the age and the kind of like wear of the oil, the places it's flaked off, you know this paint to be of excellent craftsmanship. It has many landscapes, many of them beautiful, mountain ranges, large forests, and plains. One in particular, or I suppose 2 in particular, will maybe catch your interest. One is of a towering city upon the bay of a land. Its high, dark walls and crenellations of stone remind you of an architecture that you may or may not have seen fallen, broken, scattered, and in disrepair around the city of Ansham. It appears, after some poking around, that this is a beautiful vista showing the height of the city in its full glory, resting at the mouth of the bay. Another is of a strange location. 2 high waterfalls cascading down on an island, and between them, an impressive piece of architecture woven through the hills and on top of the waterfalls, almost dangling magically, is a large building. You can only think of it as a university of some sorts, or perhaps you may even call it a conservatory. It is impressive both in scope and in clearly magical architecture. You've seen nothing quite like it in the lands of the Empire.
But no like
think-
family portraits or anything that like nobles would usually have.
There are no portraits.
Well, we should
Uh,
take
who's
some
your
of these
first,
paintings if they're so well done and high quality, and if they're ancient,
Definitely.
then they'd be worth a lot.
Definitely take them. Clarence is going to like kind of redraw these a little bit in his book, and then make notes of like key looking locations and see if he can figure out where these places are exactly. So he'll try to investigate in the town later on.
Absolutely.
Are these paintings signed by an artist?
Since you're taking some of them off the walls anyway, you will see behind them that yes, indeed, they are. They are signed by a G. LaForge.
Are there any
Yes.
books in the rooms that we wander through, like, or anything with writing on it? that
There
might-
are bookshelves, and there are places where books would have rested, scroll cases. As you inspect them, you find them either empty, as if they have been absconded with or disappeared, or you will see inside of the scroll cases that there are dust, like the paper has just returned to motes of sand inside of them.
Huh. Okay. So no.
Can I take
Okay.
the paintings off the walls and put them in the scroll cases so we can take them back safely? The landscapes?
Oh, like out of the frame.
I think that is doable. I was imagining smaller scroll cases and larger paintings, but like, yeah, we'll say that there were some like map scroll cases or something in a study somewhere.
I mean, honestly, here's the thing. Udrich wouldn't really, care about the sort of condition. He would, fold them and, roll them like a child, stuffing, a
Hey,
priceless,
careful,
wrapper
careful.
to it.
Those are worth a lot of money to us.
Son.
It's just paper, but it looks really pretty.
It's pretty paper. The prettier it is, the more it's worth. Easy.
Wrinkles and creases are not pretty. Those decrease the value, my friend.
He points at the waterfall with the building sort of floating, magically in the air there, and he says, "This reminds me of my mom."
Your mom was a waterfall?
Yeah.
No, he was a genie.
Oh, what sort of genie?
Was he a fire? Can I interest you in Tinder, sir?
Is your mom single right now, my friend?
I have only ever seen him.
Uh-huh.
I think that means yes.
But he's on fire.
No.
No.
No
I think
fire.
he's-
Okay.
I think
Well,
he's
never mind. I'm not
behind
interested.
himself.
Sorry.
No longer interested. Okay. Well, with that, if everybody's cool.
Yeah, let's check out the cellar door.
Yeah. And he's gonna look to Grumpus, like, Grumpus, last time I opened the door, I got kind of swamped. I'm gonna need you to open this cellar door.
Okay, but if another ghost shows up, I might die. So here we go.
Oh wait! Oh shoot! Fudge. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm wounded. It's fine. Guys,
Okay.
we're level 1. We're just gonna die anyway.
We're just gonna die. You're right. You're right. Screw it.
You want me to open the door? Last time it attacked you.
Yeah.
You're right. And the way I saw you manhandle those paintings, I think you've got this door handled.
Very funny.
Udrich will Eldritch blast the door.
You Eldritch blast the cellar door. Excellent.
So anyway, he started blasting.
Yeah. Anyway, Eldritch starts blasting, and ripples of energy wiggle through the air, and you see this wooden cellar door leading into the heart of the manor explode, as it is ancient and is brittle and fragile, and there's just a raucous crash of splintering wood throughout this otherwise silent and creepy manor. Down below in the dark, it is pitch black. There is not a single light that reaches the cellar below. You smell something putrid and at the same time spicy. There's a mix of both floral and herbaceous scents almost cutting through a sickly dark smell.
Do you guys want me to like produce flame and lob it in there, or what?
Nah.
Udric just kind of peers in, doors open. He says,
I'm used to the dark.
For those of you with dark vision, you will see a simple set of stairs, now broken and some of them missing from a suspicious explosion that happened in the recent past. But who knows? Who knows what caused it? But they lead down into a dark stone cellar, and it leads like probably farther down than you expect. You can see about 60 feet with your dark vision. You just see the like stonework of the landing where the steps are beneath the manor.
Can I like? So well, if it's stone, then I'd like to just like produce flame and lob one in.
Absolutely. You lob one down. It falls arcing through the darkness. It lands upon the stonework at the bottom. It sets one of the stairs on fire that didn't explode, but that's okay. I'm sure it'll be fine. And in the flickering light before it is extinguished, you don't see them yourselves, but the shadows almost reflect back to you, like the light reflected off something down this kind of stone hall, and the shadows look human but disfigured, long, stretching, strange humanoid shadows, and then in a flash your light extinguishes and is gone. But then is returned as Vezel, as Clarence is like, I got this, don't worry.
I got this. I was waiting for the right moment. Like, we might need to see. He saw a little flash or something. He's like, nope, we need light. So, yeah. This is, what do I see here?
I mean, you're at the top of the staircase, so I guess as the light reflects down, reflecting back off of whatever the produced flame reflected off of, you see the return of these creeping shadows from somewhere down the stone hall from the landing.
Do you want? I'll like hand you a couple like sling stones if you want to use it on that as we go down.
Sure, I put the light
in the room.
You know what? Why not?
I'm just gonna Eldritch Blast down into the room. I can't see anything. I'm just gonna start blasting.
Well, you can because it's light, but we can. We're walking
just, like,
down.
Lasering down as you go.
You just like start walking down the stairs, casually casting Eldritch Blasts as you're like descending the 60 feet.
Yeah, he has no sense of like being a cool adventurer, and this is like some schmuck level nonsense of just blasting everything in sight. Because this seems like a reasonable thing to do.
All right. As you're descending the stairs, careful not to have them break under you. You're kind of aiming down 60 feet, and as you descend, you become to get like fuller view of what's happening. But I'm gonna need you to roll me an unmodified D20. Just go ahead and make me like a death saving throw. It's not actually a death saving throw. I just want an unmodified D20. A 12. All right. Let's see. You're okay. Your blasts, you hear hitting things, reflecting off of things, and as you finally descend the stairs to the bottom, your final Eldritch Blast ripping through, you turn and you see what looks like a large shrine dedicated to someone or something. In the center of it is a large blue sewing needle that seems to just be working away. And as the eyes adjust to the carnage that you see from your Eldritch Blasts, you realize what you've been shooting is the sewn together flesh of what has to be a village's worth of corpses being tied together.
Oh no.
Would you grunt angrily and say,
so this is like some sort of human centipede bullshit.
Yep.
Less human centipede and more sewn together in a monstrous amalgamation that looks less like a creature or thing and more like a shrine, a dedication.
Okay, so these things aren't like writhing in like...
They are not moving.
That's
Behind
fucked
the
up.
shrine
Oh,
is
they
a
can't
small
overview.
opaque mirror from which your light is shining back from. It is reflecting the sewing needle, but there seems to be a small blue hand guiding it in the mirror.
As that happens, another ghostly hand appears, Udrik's mage hand, as he says,
Mhm.
"Ugh, stupid ghost needle," and tries to mage hand, pull the needle away.
You attempt to pull with your mage hand. Go ahead and give me an Arcana intelligence check or what is you're a warlock, so you cast with charisma?
Yes.
Give me an Arcana charisma check as your magics try to do war with the magics of this needle. Your
Alright,
DC that I have just rolled is 18.
Oh no.
Right. This is going to be with charisma. So this is actually going to be +6 to this roll because
Oh, okay. You got it,
my
man.
stat
Do it.
whack.
Nope.
Oh.
16?
Oh,
A
minus 3.
16 is not enough to beat an 18. Your mage hand tries to grasp this needle, and for a moment it struggles, and then continues sewing. And as your mage hand dissipates, you are rebuffed magically. Psychically, you feel a frosty breath down your back. It sears into you. And please take from me 1 wound as your psyche is buffeted by the magics at play under the manor.
Can that just kill him outright?
Wounds can never kill you. They can only take you to a minimum of 1 maximum HP.
Do we do the roll of the D8 or do wounds take the average?
Wounds will take the average of the dice. So if you are a
So 5
warlock,
average.
I think you have a D8. So a wound is 4 less maximum HP.
Oh boy. Guys, maybe we should just burn down this place. I mean, I know that's my go-to solution, but I think it's particularly apt in this situation.
You know how
I have
stone works, right?
question for you, Greg. As this invades my psyche,
Mhm.
can I attempt to sort of funnel the sort of bad feeling into my arcane well of strength and just burn through my one and only spell slot to go past the wound? With the caveat that I will not immediately get it back on next short rest. That's a warlock bullshit.
Highs or lows, Leova?
Highs, always.
Yes. You manage to focus all of your magics into this cold, and as it sears into your psyche, you can feel cracks forming. You feel that just energy ripping into your mental image of yourself. You coalesce your magics, the power of your father mother, and you seal those cracks with your own magics as they form. You will not take the wound, but you will lose access to this spell slot until you get a full rest.
Yep. And as that happens, I think Udrik just involuntarily.
Let me restate something because I just used a game term that I didn't mean to use. You will recover this at camp. Not a short rest at camp, but also not a full rest. Those are different things in my game.
A night's rest.
A night's rest, yeah.
Okay.
I think as this happens, Udrik sort of shudders physically and spiritually, and his mind just goes to a happy place, to somewhere safe, and you see him just vanish, and in his place a little tiny urn, a bottle or of some sort, just drops to the ground.
Ooh, free bottle. I'm gonna pick it up. I put you in my backpack.
Right. Well, guys, we gotta either go in or go out. What's the plan?
Dude, let's just burn this flesh monstrosity. Honestly, all we gotta do is make sure that the village is clear. This thing is clearly the source of some bad mojo. Let's just freaking burn it.
said we didn't know what deity this was for.
Are you even
Good
sure
thing
it's
there's-
for a deity?
True.
Can I... What... So this thing is being woven by this ghost, and we can't see the ghost unless we look in the mirror, right?
Yes.
Is there anything else? I want to walk around, not be near where the needle is. I want to avoid the ghost. I want to see if there's anything else we can see with the mirror besides the ghost and the needle. That is not
That is very
apparent
clever. Okay.
to our current eyes.
As you walk around, you catch sight of this fleshy shrine from different angles. In the mirror, it doesn't look like flesh. It looks like a beautiful tapestry, almost like a perfect cape being woven with incredible detail. 7 drops of red blood in a crown. This almost appears made for royalty. The ghost itself, you see, has hands and arms and legs. It's huge, and you only get glimpses of it from like the edges of your vision as you kind of look through the mirror. But you also find hanging on the wall 2 things. You find a large curtain, like some kind of covering. As you look to the walls of the cellar, you don't see one here. There's just rotting woods and stacks of leather. But in the mirror, there is a large curtain. And on the other side, a pair of silver scissors hanging like crossed swords would hang on a wall, like decoratively so.
Can I like looking at the mirror, like be like reaching back to the curtain and like try to like grab it in the mirror?
You can. And in fact, as you look through the mirror and you reach behind you, you're reaching towards the wall, and then you feel like a curtain, like something soft, almost like silk brushing your hands.
If I shove it aside, is there anything behind it?
You pull it off the wall. There is nothing but wall in the mirror now, but as you look, you are holding a large silken curtain.
I explained to the group what I saw in the mirror. And player Rumble, LaForge was the name of the artist, right?
G. LaForge, yes.
I want to try talking to this ghost and see if this is the artist. I know it was done in oil, but, you know, there were also live people at some point, so who knows, right?
Okay. What do you say? What do you try to do when you talk to this ghost?
Are you LaForge?
The needle stops for a moment. And then it starts again, but this time quickly. Its pace fast, and as you look through the mirror, you see in the tapestry it's weaving across the cape, you see it write in letters that you understand. No.
Your work
Oh
is
shit,
brilliant.
guys.
The stitching of the no comes undone, and rapidly the needle forms, and it says, "Thank you."
I keep up conversation, but I look directly at character names. Agni, and I like
I've at this
I
point
give the
like
head I give the head nod, make a snip while I keep conversation.
I've like put like the silk curtain like over me, and I'm like going for like the scissors, and, like
Slow smile and nod while I continue the conversation.
Okay. I want you to give me a either deception charisma check, or I want a Riz check of some kind. Persuasion, I guess. How good are you at chit-chatting? Performance. That feels like Riz to me. I want you to either deceive this thing Lie to it, tell it it's great, or give it a performance. Just riz it up. Be a good guy. So I would like a charisma.
Legitimately liked the art, so yes.
Okay, performance
gonna-
charisma, please.
One Riz, please. Oh, one Riz, please.
That was one Riz we need.
You successfully riz the shit out of this ghost. The ghost is chatty and it doesn't respond in much more than one, maybe 2-word answers. But it is happily having a conversation with you and notices not the creeping caped figure across the back of the mirror reaching
This is a
for
Scooby-Doo
cross
fucking
silver
episode, damn it.
scissors. You reach looking in the mirror and sure enough grasp cold silver scissors in hand. One after the other, you take them off the wall, slowly put them together. Snip snip, it's ready.
Guys, do we want
Snip it.
information, or should
Yeah.
we cut the cord?
As much as Clarence loves information, I don't want to get, sewed to the ground again and possibly die wherever the heck else.
All right. Who wants to do it?
You have the
You!
scissors.
You got it.
Okay,
You do it.
I'll do it. I'll like go and cut the. I guess I'm going for like the invisible cord. That's like, I assume it's like coming from the mirror is what we've been following.
You do indeed find a single thread running from the mirror into the eye of the large blue needle, which is typing out a heartfelt yes to one of one of Grumpus's questions. And you snip it. As you do, the needle falls. The mirror turns black like ink. The coldness disappears, and that herbal, spicy smell that was cutting the putridness of the rotting flesh pile in front of you disappears. You are overcome by waves of sickness, but the oppressive magic ends. No longer does the needle move. No longer does the magic of this place beat around you.
I think we've maybe ended the curse.
I really wanted to sew you guys up with a needle, man. I thought we were gonna fight. I got a map and everything.
No, go back. All that, let's go fight.
I think I would like to take the mirror with me. Thing
Wait.
that
Let Clarence investigate first, because he's already on. This is what he's here for. He wants.
okay, make sure it's safe. I think we should take it with us in the case that it could be reactivated.
Yeah, I wanna
Elsewhere.
take a look around.
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, look, I'm just saying, I'll take a look around. Go ahead. What are you saying?
You think the thing that melted into black goop is safe to carry?
Well, it just turned black. He said.
The mirror turned black like ink, yes, but it is not goopy. The putrid flesh all around you that has a half-sewed yes in it, it definitely is goopy. That's gross and nasty.
Nasty. I'm gonna firebolt that, and then
we sit in the cellar for like an hour while Clarence firebolts every last
Firebolt
bit of this
investigate.
away.
I think if you start doing that, Clarence, Udric will kind of get annoyed at your slow blasting of everyone. He'll come out of the bottle, and then he's just gonna cast Arms of Hadar to just pull the life force out of everything that's left in these people. No, I don't. I have no spell slots. I tried to do
that's
that.
right.
I
Didn't
tried
work.
to summon up my energies, and I've got nothing. And I look at you, Clarence, this performance anxiety hanging over me. I say,
Question for you.
tired.
Question for you, Leo. So when your character comes out of the bottle, because I put it in the backpack, are you bursting out of my backpack, or are you just appear next to it?
It's just like a genie coming out of a bottle. I just kind of mist out of your backpack, and then
Okay.
I like to
Good.
think he missed halfway out, right? Like his torso's still in the bottle somewhere. He's just out of your backpack, and he tries to cast
Okay.
Arms of Hadar, and then gets this sheepish look on his face, and we just see him swivel back into your backpack, ooh.
Well, he's being embarrassing, and somebody's setting fires. I'm gonna take the mirror and
So the mirror is very large. It takes up essentially an entire wall in the back of this. You can burn away the flesh pile. You can kick this inert needle to the side. But you essentially have like a wall-sized mirror. This is not like a put it in my backpack situation.
I think that it might be worth taking back with us, just in case that. I don't know. Maybe in the future it can be used to access. Because if this is some sort of like connection between times or other planes, it could be super valuable if it can be reactivated.
Or it could make another needle person come out. You know, why not? Let's take it back. Who
Why
cares?
don't we leave it here and just know that it's here? It's not far from
That's
town.
actually
We
true.
can come and grab it when we've got.
Yeah, but
better
if we
gear.
do that, then we don't get the money for it.
We're already getting the paintings,
Back
and
it
is
in
there?
into that bottle in the urn.
I'm sorry, what was that, Leova? I didn't quite catch it.
I was gonna say, the urn can actually hold like a lot of stuff. So once I take a long rest, I can grab the mirror, pop into the urn, and leave it there.
Oh, very
Having
awesome!
a
Yeah, then
pseudo-
let's just do that.
The 20-foot bag of holding kind of extra dimensional space.
Does your
effect thing
gin
happen.
come with a bag of holding built in?
Kinda, yeah.
No, he comes with a 20-foot cylinder of extra dimensional goodness.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. I love that.
The
Okay,
interior is appointed with cushions and low tables.
Kind of thick. Okay.
All right, I did not expect to have to deal with portable holes as
Already.
as level 1 characters, but I suppose this would work. Yeah, given enough time to rest.
Well, the good thing is, Udrik is a moron, so it's not going to break your game.
All right. So I rolled an Arcana check, got a 24.
Okay.
And that was. Is there anything else that is like crazy sticking out to me here with the needle left over, the scissors, anything else?
I don't know if there's anything crazy left over. You feel, I guess what you feel is like the magic of this room has largely come to an end. Whatever was fueling this ritual or ghost has been severed and is gone from the room. The manor house seems largely the same as it was, but the chill, the cold, the terror of this place is gone. You're just standing in a gross room that's been recently fire cleaned.
Good. All right. Well, I'll take all the materials that is not dead, burning bodies, and we'll, we need to go rest.
yeah, let's
Got
set
you.
up in one of the rooms and rest. If we feel like the malevolent spirits of this place have been cleansed, then I think this is a great place to bunker down for a night's rest.
One
Yeah.
moment. Greg, does it feel like a nice moment to bunker down for?
You divine sense this place. You sense no celestials, fiends, or undead in this area. The warrior in you, I suppose, senses no challenges. There's you. I don't know if that's good or bad for you as a paladin of the warrior, but there's your divine senses lead you to no challenges in this place.
I turn back to the group. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, then let's get how many exploration points do we have left?
You have one.
Oh, one. Never mind. It's resting. time.
So can we use that for anything useful here?
You've spent a lot of time in this village. You walked
Yeah.
through a bunch of the buildings. You investigated the grounds for like a cemetery and bodies. You spent a couple hours burning bodies in the cellar. You did a combat. I think you could use the exploration point for something. I don't want to take it away from you, but I don't think you could range out very far from where you are before nightfall.
What if we just say that we use it on the scavenging that I sort of did in character to allow me to finish turning the iron and silver bars into powdered iron and silver?
You're just gonna take your shillelagh and just grind it up with a magic item. Yeah, I'll let you do that for an exploration point. I'm down.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right.
Now we rest.
with no exploration points remaining, the party is ready to rest it up. You guys spend the night in various rooms of this manor. It is ancient and old and kind of like broken down, but is largely fancy, I suppose. There's beds, there's different rooms for all of you should you want them. There's like rotted clothes from some long past tenant that are sometimes in some amount of wearable repair. Mostly aren't. Most of them are just essentially cobwebs and threads. But you may spend the night here.
On those different clothings, are they significantly different from what we wear?
Oh yeah.
Is
in
there
terms
any
of
indication of,
style, yeah.
Mhm. I want to take some back and study and show the differences between how we wear clothes and what the ancient people
Yeah,
here used to wear.
you may
clothes.
take as many pounds of like dirty, broken, threadbare clothes as you can. Yeah.
At some point during the night, Grumpus is gonna have picked up the needle and have put on some sort of dress and tried to prank one of the other three. Let's roll for this. /R1D3. 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh. Clarence, I'm messing with you at some point. How do you respond to a very short, very hairy Frost Maiden or whatever we fought? You're muted.
I'm gonna give you an insight check. That seems right. Pretty good. I'm pretty smart. I figured it out.
Hang
I've
on.
heard he got fit. He got. Oh wait, yeah. Do your thing.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm good.
Whoa, I'm gonna get you again.
Yeah. After we take a nap, go ahead. Go back. Go to sleep.
Okay.
Clarence just dismisses you on sight. Just,
Hey, good night, bud.
I am too tired for this.
Oh,
Nice.
That's funny.
All right. Shenanigans over. I assume there's grinding weird noises from Agni's room for like a few hours. We're not sure if this is Tinder related or not. But eventually
Grinder.
night will fall. It's Grinder related. Understood. This is your new. You have a Tinder service for lighting fires and a Grinder service for grinding iron bars. new to Ansham, Agni's Grinder. 1 copper. As night falls, you are in the manor house, but you are not necessarily in a perfectly safe and secure location. I want Uldric to roll me on the nighttime encounter chart. You are in a newly, cleared manor, though, so I want you to roll at -20.
That's D100 minus 20.
Yes, sir. D100 for the encounters. That is a 78. All right, perfect. A 78 for you at nighttime. Camp encounter table.
It's
This-
a burn sale.
A simple monster from the current area will attempt to ambush you. However, there are no simple monsters in the current area left. You have burned the entire corpse pile of zombies, and you have defeated the ghost of the manor house. Your night is restful and sleep filled.
Thank God.
As you rest. So you have essentially spent a night camping here. Let us just go through what you will receive. After camp, you will regain any number of spells or class features associated with a long rest in the player's handbook. This will include your spell slot that you use to remove your wound for Uldric. You must remove 1 ration from your party, or each of you must remove 1 ration in order to gain this benefit. You will also be able to spend any number of hit dice that remain in your hit dice pool to regain HP. This will not regain the wounds, but they will get you up to that number if you need it. After all of this, the next morning when you wake up, you will regain 1/2 of your maximum number of hit dice, rounded up to be used in the next day of adventuring. As we awake the next morning, I want to ask the party a meta question. This was fairly close to town, and you could simply loot the manor for all it's worth and return home. Or you could potentially try to do something else with your adventuring. We've been playing for about 2 hours. What is your thoughts on this? Are you looking to return safely back to town, or shall we continue adventuring beyond the farmstead here?
Totally down to keep going. I think if we take a short break though.
That
But-
if we continue going, I was going to have us go to our break here.
I'm down to explore. And that's also, I was curious about the thing that also meta, John DM the Crier found a while ago. That's under the city or around the city. With that
It's like 2 hexes down from us. We could go explore it, but I don't like if like I don't know. I don't know what Greg has planned there.
So what John
absolutely.
found when it came to rumors was that there is an entrance to the sewer, the cistern system beneath Antrim. So that is in the city itself. If you wanted to explore underneath it, but I would say returning to the city is probably the end of our adventure today.
Gotcha. All right, so
Yeah.
we're exploring. Go north. Go south. I don't care.
Yep.
Do we just want to hit a bunch of
I agree.
tiles that may or may not have been hit yet? And
Yeah. You know what?
Well,
we should go to the
Let's talk about it
water.
over break and we'll figure that
All
out.
right, sounds like we are still exploring. We're going to go
Yeah,
to
we are.
our first break here, and we will come back with another couple hours of who knows what. I'll also give you guys just mansion loot when we come back. I assume you guys looted the mansion.
Oh,
And
for sure, especially with that portable hole.
yeah, absolutely. All right, we will see you guys in about 5 or 10 minutes, and we will continue then. See you soon.